today we are going to start our lab number 11, that is reactive power and voltage control in power generation system. An objective of our lab is to model the automatic voltage regulator in MATLAB Simulink, and then we will analyze the effect of this automatic voltage regulator on reactive power and voltage in power generation system. So students, you know that the power system is mainly concerned with the generation of electric power from sending to the receiving end as per consumer requirements with minimum amount of losses. So power system is designed in such a way that it operates at certain nominal frequency and terminal voltage, and any deviation to this may result to dynamic instability within the system, and it will cause damage to the connected equipments, and it will leads to overall system collapse. So the objective of the control strategy is to generate and deliver the power in an interconnected system as economically and reliably as possible while maintaining the voltage and frequency within the permissible limits. So as you know that the change in reactive power is actually sensitive to the system voltage, and change in real power affects the system frequency. Therefore, real power and reactive powers are controlled separately with the use of well-controlled equipments in the generation substation or distribution substation. And load frequency control loop controls the real power and frequency, whereas the automatic voltage regulator loop regulates the reactive power and voltage magnitude. So students, you can see here the schematic diagram of LFC and a synchronous generator. So this upper part is or AVR, that is automatic voltage regulator, and this lower part represents the LFC loop. So in this lab we will have to discuss actually the AVR loop. So we will discuss in detail the AVR loop, and in the upcoming lab we will discuss the LFC and tie line power and automatic generation control in power generation system. So students, in an interconnected power system, LFC and AVR both equipments are installed on the generator. You can see here on the schematic diagram, and the controllers are set for particular operating condition and take care of small change in load demand to maintain the frequency and voltage magnitude within the specified limit. So small change in real power will be dependent on the change on the rotor angle, and here it will depend on the rotor angle, and then obviously it will affect our frequency, and the reactive power is depending here on the voltage magnitude. So excitation time constant is much smaller than the prime mover time constant. So here we have the generator excitation. So the generator excitation time constant is very smaller than the time constant for our prime mover. So in case of this, due to this change, their transient decay is much fastest. The transient decay of our excitation system is much faster, and it will not affect the dynamic stability of LFC. Thus the cross coupling between the LFC and AVR loop is negligible. So therefore the load frequency control and excitation voltage control, that is AVR, are analyzed independently, and therefore we will independently analyze the AVR model in this lab, and then in the upcoming lab we will analyze the LFC loop and tie line power through automatic generation control, because of this effect that the transient decay in case of our AVR is very fast because of the excitation time constant, because the excitation time constant is very small than the prime mover time constant. So therefore the cross coupling between LFC and AVR loop will be neglected, and we will see and analyze the effect of LFC and AGC separately. So students, now coming towards AGC, that what is the reactive power and voltage control. Students, what are the unregulated generators? First we will discuss that what is unregulated generator. It means that in case of unregulated generator, no automatic voltage regulator is installed. So the unregulated generators are unable to sufficiently meet the power needs and requirement for the every piece of equipment or devices which are connected to the generator. This is because some unregulated generators are unable to control and regulate the terminal voltage, because they will continue to decrease as the load requirements will continue to increase. So if the voltage of the generator is not maintained at a constant or fixed value, the overall generator performance can be negatively impacted, and any utilities or equipments or machinery that is being powered by these generator may also be negatively affected by these unregulated generator. So whenever the electric power system is subjected to load disturbance, we know that it will result in the change in the voltage magnitude, and it will considerably threat to our electronic devices. So in order to save these, we need to use the voltage regulator. So voltage regulators can be manual or they can be automatic. So auto transformer or tap changing switches and induction regulators are used for the manual regulation of the voltage, and in case of the manual control, the voltmeter connected at the output terminal measures the output voltage, and then the decision and correction option is then made by us, that it is made by human beings according to the error signal, and it is our decision that how much voltage is dropped or it is increased than the nominal value. And then in modern large interconnected system, this manual regulation is not feasible because automatic voltage regulator is installed on each generator. So now coming towards the Okay students, now coming towards the working principle of automatic voltage regulator. You can see here in the figure that amplifier, exciter, generator and sensors are the main components for our automatic voltage regulator, and the schematic diagram is shown here. In this control technique, you can see here students that first the voltage magnitude is sensed by the potential transformer, because you know here that whenever the load will increase or decrease, the terminal voltage will be affected by the increase or decrease of the load. So first we will consider the case that here the load is increasing, so the terminal voltage will be decreased. So this voltage magnitude is sensed by this potential transformer. After sensing the voltage from the potential transformer, this voltage is rectified by our rectifier, and rectifier is used here because here you can see our reference voltage is DC. So in order to convert our AC voltage to DC, we have used the rectifier here. So here we will compare our output terminal voltage with this DC reference voltage, and an error signal will be generated. So the error signal is amplified first by the amplifier. So this amplified error signal then increases the exciter terminal voltage by controlling the exciter field. So students, the generated EMF is increased by increasing the field current of the generator. So this will raise our terminal voltage to the desired value, and reactive power is increased to a new equilibrium. So students, you can see here the working principle of AVR, that how it will increase our terminal voltage by comparing it with the reference voltage, and then by creating an error signal, and this error signal is then actually used to increase or decrease the excitation of the generator, and then according to this error signal the field current will increase or decrease to maintain the terminal voltage at the constant value by increasing or decreasing our reactive power. Now coming towards our mathematical modeling. So students, in case of the mathematical modeling, you know that in any control design, initially the mathematical modeling of a system is performed, and without mathematical modeling it is almost impossible to design a controller for a system. So controller can be designed by using the practical results for the system. So by directly performing the on practical system, it is quite a risky task. So first mathematical modeling is done in order to conduct the proper analysis for the system. Therefore, in order to analyze the performance of automatic voltage regulator, first we will do the mathematical modeling here, and one by one we will discuss each model. Coming towards our amplifier model, here you can see the amplifier model. In this case, we have seen in our previous figure that in case of amplifier, the input is error signal and output is this VR. So as you know that transfer function is ratio of output to input, so output will be VR and input will be VE. And as we know that excitation amplifier is a rotating amplifier, it can be magnetic amplifier or it is a modern electronic amplifier. In all cases, the gain of the amplifier is represented by K, and it is represented, the time constant is represented with TA. Therefore transfer function is written as Ka over 1 plus Ta, that is the time constant. The values of this Ka range from 10 to 400, and the time constant Ta range from 0.02 to 0.1 seconds. So students, next we will go towards the exciter model. In the figure again we will see here that in case of the exciter system, the output is Vf and input is this Vr, which is coming from the output of the amplifier. It will becomes the input for the exciter. So the transfer function for exciter can be written as the output Vf over input Vr. In this case, again we know that the exciter output voltage is a non-linear function, and the transfer function of a exciter, ignoring the saturation condition and other non-linearities, we will represent it in the simplest form by a single time constant, again that is the Te, and gain Ke, and this gain Ke range from 10 to 400, and this Te is between 0.5 to 1 second. So students, here we have written down the transfer function for exciter model as a function of a gain Ke at the time constant T. Next we will go towards the generator model. What is the generator model? You can see again in the figure that the output of the exciter is connected with the generator, because this will increase the field current according to the error signal. So in this case the input become Vf, and output of a generator is, you know that output is always the terminal voltage. So here in case of a generator model, we have again written down the transfer function as a function of a Kg, that is a constant, gain constant, and a time constant Tg. So in this case the Kg range from 0.7 to 1, and this Tg range from 1 to 2, and it is this Tg, the value of the time constant is from full load, that is from 0 to the full load value, and it will you can see here in the figure that here we have created the generator model, and we have written down the transfer function in this equation. Now students, next what we have to do, we have to make the model for our sensor. So in case for the modeling of a sensor, again the voltage is sensed by potential transformer, and then it is rectified. So the transfer function for the sensor is represented in the simplest form of the gain kr, and with the time constant tr, and this tr range from 0.001 to 0.06 seconds. So its time constant is very ranged in a very small value. So you can see here that in case of the sensor, the input is the terminal voltage, because sensor will sense input, it will sense the input voltage. So from the for the input of the sensor we have chosen or terminal voltage, and output will of the sensor will be Vs. Therefore we have written down the transfer function as a function of output, that is Vt, and input of Vf. So next students, you can see here the complete model for the automatic voltage regulator, and this figure shows the AVR which is obtained by combining the all models with the generator terminal voltage as a function. This is our output. In the complete model, you can see here this terminal voltage is the output to the reference voltage V ref as our input. And the closed loop transfer function, that is which is relating the output voltage to our input voltage, or input is the reference voltage. We can write the transfer function by using the formula, that is the kg divided by 1 plus kghs. So here we have written down the by putting the values of our model. This will become our kg, and this will become our h. Then we have written down the closed loop transfer function value here. Now students, next what we have to do, we will use the excitation system stabilizer. Now why is the need for the excitation system stabilizer? As the automatic voltage regulators are found extremely suitable for the regulation of the generated voltage. You have already seen that through the excitation control we can control the terminal voltage, but the extensive use of the automatic voltage regulator has the effect on the dynamic stability and the steady state stability of the power system, because as the oscillation of the low frequency, that is about the range of 0.2 to 3 hertz, persist in the power system for a long period, and it will sometimes affect the power transfer capabilities of the system. Therefore the power system stabilizer, which is also known as the excitation system stabilizer, were developed to aid in these damping these oscillations by the modulation of excitation system, and it will supplement the stability of the system. So students, the basic operation of our excitation system or the power system stabilizer is to apply a signal to the excitation system that creates the damping torque which is in phase with our rotor oscillations. Now what is the design consideration for this compensated automatic voltage regulator, or we can call it that what is the design consideration for our power system stabilizer? So you can see here that we have designed the power system stabilizer for our automatic voltage regulator, and in this case the input will be the output of this exciter will become the input of this stabilizer, because we have discussed earlier that it will aid the damping oscillation by the modulation of this excitation system, and by supplement the stability of the system. Therefore the output of this exciter will becomes the input of the stabilizer, and then again it will go towards or input where it will becomes the input or amplifier. Now what happens, actually the objective of the power system stabilizer is to damp out the oscillation which have a strong effect on the power system transient stability. So power system stabilizer or excitation system stabilizer will damp the oscillation by regulating the generator field voltage, and it will result in swing of the VAR, that is, or VAR output. So the power system stabilizer is chosen, its gain is chosen very carefully, so that the resultant gain margin of the volt to VAR swing should be acceptable. So in order the transfer function of the stabilizer, you can see here that this is the transfer function of a stabilizer. It is a function of a gain kf and the time constant tf. So students, here we have compensated or automatic voltage regulator by using or the stabilizer, which is known as the excitation system stabilizer or power system stabilizer. And now we will implement it on MATLAB. First we will see the response of automatic voltage regulator without the use of the or excitation system stabilizer, and after that we will use a compensated model of the automatic voltage regulator, which will have the power system stabilizer. Then we will see that what will be the effect on the stability, transient stability of the automatic voltage regulator after using this AVR. Okay students, now coming towards our task, here we have to construct the Simulink block diagram for automatic voltage regulator, and then we will obtain the step response of our automatic voltage regulator. You can see here that the parameters for amplifier, exciter, generator and sensor are given. The gain and time constants for all amplifier, exciter, generator and sensor are shown here in the table. So students, first as we have already discussed and we have already modeled the automatic voltage regulator. So this is the complete model of automatic voltage regulator, which is already discussed in our previous slides. Now we will construct this model in MATLAB Simulink. So now first we will open our Simulink MATLAB Simulink, and then we will open the Simulink library. And from the figure you can see here that we need 4 blocks for the transfer function. Therefore in Simulink library we will use the trans command for the transfer function, and by using the trans command we will get the transfer function, and then we will add these 4 transfer functions to our model, because we need 4 transfer function. We have 4 blocks for amplifier, exciter, generator and sensor. After that we will need a sum block or add block. We will write add in the library, and you will see by writing the add command we will get here the add and sum. We will use this sum and add it to our model. After that we will need a scope to see our output. We will use scope. So by using the scope on Simulink library we will get the scope. So here you can see we are having the scope, so we will add it to our model, and the input will be our step function. So we will write step on MATLAB and we will get the step as an input. So here you can see this is the step function, this is will become our input. Now we have added all these to our model. Now coming towards our model, all blocks are added here. You can see here. Now we will arrange each block. First we will arrange the transfer function blocks. First 3 blocks will be arranged like this. Then here we have add block. From add block we have to add the step input here, and next what we have to see, where we have a scope here, and these functions will be arranged here like this. Okay, this sum will be here, there will be step function. After that here we have a scope, and this is a transfer function. Now this is our sensor, so we will revert it by using Control R By using the control R function, I have flipped it because this will become the input and this is the output of the sensor. Now what happens that we will connect these all models. This will be the amplifier which will be connected with the exciter output will go to the input of generator. Output of a generator will be measured or seen by scope, and then this output goes to the output of the generator becomes the input of the sensor, and the sensor output goes to the input of the or sum, and then the step input and the output of a sensor are compared, and here error signal will be generated which becomes the input or amplifier. Here we should have a minus sign, therefore we will click here and change the sign of our sum, that plus it will become plus will be the step and minus will be the error signal sensor, and then here error signal will be generated. Now students, we have to change the parameter for amplifiers, exciter, generator and sensor, and parameters are already given in the task here. So we will write down the gain and time constant values for amplifier, exciter, generator and sensor. First we will write for amplifier. So coming towards the model, K is 10 and TA is 0.1. So we will write here Ka becomes 10 and this will become S.1, STA is 0.1. So here this is our S0 and this is our S1. So we will return 0.1 here. So you can see here that this is Ka and this was the Ta. So we have written the values. Now we will write the values for other exciter and generator and sensor. For exciter and generator and sensor, the gains are 1, so we will not change them. We have to change only TE, TG and TR. So this is 0.4. So we will write for exciter, it will be 0.4. For generator, you can, I think so, 0.4. We have to write this like 0.4 and 1. Now it's okay. Now for generator, both values are 1. You can see here both values are 1, which are already 1. Now for sensor, we have to write TR as 0.05. It is 0.05. And then we will click OK. So here we have written down all the values. Now students, what we have to see, we will see the output response. So for output response, we will run it. Here we will run and it is ready. Input is step, and on scope you will see the output. It is compiling, and here we will see the output on scope. Okay students, now we will see the output on the scope. So students, you can see here that our reference was a step input function. So the output is following the input reference voltage, but it is with the overshoot, and after that we have a lot of oscillation, and then it is going to settle to 1. So now oscillations are removed by using a power system stabilizer. So in task 2 students, what you have to do, coming towards our task 2, we have to use a rate feedback stabilizer which is added to AVR in task 1 to increase its relative stability, because in the scope you have seen that the step input was a step function, and output is following the input, but first with the overshoot and then with lot of oscillations. So in the task, what you have to do, you have to design a rate feedback stabilizer for this task one to increase its relative stability, and then the stabilizer time constant and its gain kf is given here. You have to obtain the step response and time domain response specifications. First, because first we have already discussed the closed loop transfer function. So first, without using the Simulink block diagram, you have to obtain the step response by using a step command, and you have to write the code for it. And in part B, you have to construct the Simulink block diagram, and then you will obtain the step response. The step response in part A and part B will be same, obviously, because for the first one is through coding, and the second one is on MATLAB Simulink. Results will be same. Then you will see that what will be the effect of the rate feedback stabilizer on automatic voltage regulator, and how it increase the stability of the system. And you will write the comments and conclusion at the end, that how the stability is improved. Okay, students.